Hi, my name is Hunter DeBlue,
Hi, my name is James Arsenis.
and our topic today is basic segment proofs.
Our first lesson here is midpoints. As you can see, M is the midpoint of segment JA. On the formula for the Cartesian plane is x1 plus x2 over 2, and y1 plus y2 over 2. Our example here is 5 plus 5 over 2 and 3 plus 1 over 2. This makes 10 over 2 and 4 over 2, as our outcome is 5 and 2 on the Cartesian plane.
This is our basic midpoint proof. It is a very short two-step proof. Our given information is that segment HB is congruent to segment BD. And what we have to prove is that B is the midpoint of segment HD. We start off with the given information. Segment HB is congruent to segment BD. Our second and final step is to prove that B is the midpoint of HD. And the reason is definition of a midpoint, which states that if two smaller segments that make up a bigger segment are congruent, then the common point in those two small segments is the midpoint.
As for segment addition postulate, or SAP, JH plus HD equals JD.
The third lesson today is segment congruence. There are three different properties of segment congruence: reflexive, symmetric, and transitive. The first property of congruence is reflexive property. This states that something, like a segment, is congruent to itself. For instance, segment AB is congruent to segment AB. The second property of congruence is the symmetric property. This states that if one segment is congruent to a second segment, then the second segment is congruent to the first segment, such as segment AB is congruent to segment CD, then segment CD is congruent to segment AB. The third and final property of congruence is the transitive property. This states that if one segment is congruent to a second segment, and the second segment is congruent to a third segment, then the first segment is congruent to the third. Such as, if segment AB is congruent to segment CD, and segment CD is congruent to segment EF, then that means segment AB is congruent to segment EF.
Action.
Think of this as point A, this as point B, and this as point C. In this case, point B is the midpoint of segment AC.
Our real-world problem equation is segment AB plus segment BC equals segment AC.
To solve this, you would need to take the measure of AB, which is 6 inches, plus the measure of BC, which is also 6 inches. And then you get the measure of AC, which is 12 inches.